What? Here we are. We're back for now.
Oh, goodness.
For now. We'll try it again. We'll try it again.
There you are. There you are. Okay, y'all. Let's try it again. Let's introduce again. May the 27th at now 4:08 in Alabama on a Tuesday afternoon. And we must say, if it happens again, we're just going to give it up. But we've been having some internet issues.
We had some big storms come through today, too. I mean, it was rough for a little bit there.
It was rough. Hey, Catherine. Catherine was kind of my go-to to tell me if it was what was going on and telling y'all that we had some storms. So thank you to her. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. Erica said she thought she lost us. Well, we lost you too, Erica. So we missed Saturday, as you guys probably realize why now. We had a issue with Rescue the horse, if you saw the video.
Yeah. Yeah, we did have an issue.
Yeah, we were all ready to go live, and Jason went outside to go feed, and it just wasn't going to happen.
No, it wasn't going to happen. That was yeah, that was a little scary situation there. Thank goodness for Dr. D solving that issue, keeping us calm, or me calm. I talked to him on the phone. I mean, I wasn't panicking or anything.
No, you did very well. As a matter of fact, I didn't tell you that, and I should have.
Oh yeah, I did. I did do well. I did good.
Well, usually, it's kind of me talking to him, but it was a situation to where I think I was loading the horse trailer up, or we were just both going different directions.
Yeah.
And I walked up on you talking to him on the phone, and you were very calm and very collected. And I didn't tell you that day because I probably wasn't very calm and collected myself, but Jason handled it very well.
He's so good. He's so good, but in it just seems like he doesn't get frazzled at all. I mean, we've had some situations, and he's always just cool as a cucumber.
Well, I think animals know when you get out of sorts, and of course, that was difficult to watch because we knew that she was not able to breathe properly, basically.
She could breathe. It was in her esophagus. It wasn't in her other. It was just very, very, very uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you, it happened to me last week.
You got something lodged in your esophagus?
With a peach.
Wait, Jason, you didn't
tell me that? I cut a peach up and I was eating it. And you and me, Carl, I think you had a doctor's appointment. And it got I guess I didn't chew it up good enough. And I ate too fast. It was a good peach. It was really good.
So you were sucking that peach down?
And it got kind of stuck right here. I could feel it. Huh. And it took a little bit for it to go down.
Oh.
But I could breathe fine. Now, if it had been up here, I couldn't put it down here.
So before we go any further, we were living at the old farm, and there was a Mexican restaurant that we like to frequent. And they had peppermints at the counter, like a lot of these restaurants do. When you go to leave, Mary Carl was little, so everybody wanted a peppermint. So I'm driving, as I always do, get Mary Carl in her car seat because she was that little. And we get strapped in, and I put the peppermint in my mouth. I put the car in reverse, and all of a sudden, it slid down my throat, y'all.
It went down the wrong. It went down your breathing tube.
It went down the wrong way, and I put the car back in drive, and they didn't know what was going on, and I went, and it came back out, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it was a scary minute for me because I realized it went blocked. Now, do you remember when my daddy was at Lawrence Funeral Home? Scott Gurley was working there, and he choked on peanuts. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
My daddy gave him the Heimlich remover. And his mama and daddy wrote my daddy a nice letter because they said Scotty wouldn't be here today without my daddy. It was that bad, Jason.
Yeah.
That Heimlich remover worked. It removed the peanuts and unblocked his airway. But that was a serious issue.
It is a serious issue.
Oh yeah.
Because when it does that, see you got a valve. And you got a breathing valve.
It's like my vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, just like it. Just like your vacuum cleaner. Just like it, where you go from the wand to the floor thing.
Oh, y'all. It's a visible valve, and it does not always open the way it should. And Jason I hate to even ask him to fix it because it's something I can't do myself. I don't know why I can't figure it out. But all he does is just opens the valve and gets usually an ink pen, or last time it was some kind of stick in there.
It was a popsicle stick.
The dogs had probably found something, and
it's probably one that you was eating them and got it. And you said,
"Stop!" I was hoping you wasn't going to say that.
And chunked it. I don't want that. I want this stick.
Jason, stop.
But yeah, you got a valve, and so you're it's a reflex, and you always swallow, and your food goes down the correct valve. But sometimes it don't, and that's when you can choke, and that's when you do the Heimlich remover.
The Heimlich remover. It worked. It worked for Scotty.
It worked.
It worked for Scotty. And Scotty was just a young man then. He had just started working at the funeral home. And Daddy was in the right place at the right time because he, literally put his hands on him and and up came the peanuts. So they literally thought they would have lost their son if it hadn't been, if nobody had been there. And I know people have passed away from that. All right. Is it Roseanne? I'm so glad Roseanne said that. Roseanne, you know what you said. I'm not even going to say, no stick for me either.
But Reska she's 100%. This is, that happened Saturday
morning. We were supposed to be live.
Monday, Tuesday, no issues.
That's right.
No issues with her. So she's good.
And my video had already been recorded when that happened. So that's why I didn't video about it for Sunday. So y'all don't think we were trying to keep it from you. It was just already done. So
already ready.
And we did not know that Reska was okay until late that afternoon. So we weren't going to come in and do a live and update when we didn't honestly know if things were going to, if she was going to be okay at that point. We were to watch her.
So in that video, it wasn't our typical video. Almost that whole video was recorded with our phones. Because that was not a video day.
No, it wasn't.
For me.
It was a live day.
It was not a video day. And so didn't usually on a video day we're kind of thinking of what we're gonna video that day and get our mics ready and our camera ready and all that. And that day was not that day. And so you recorded Dr. D and you just set the phone up.
I did because I didn't know, there was a lot of equipment involved in that video on Dr. D's side. So we're running and getting water and getting, this and that. And I just set my phone up because I thought I might be needed.
Yeah,
it was a kind of thing. Jason, hold this. Brooke, hand me this. And while y'all didn't see me do too much, I thought I might have to. So I set the phone down and it just went.
So there was one part that I had to cut out. Because Dr. D, he didn't say an ugly word, but I was scared that YouTube was going to say he said an ugly word. So it was just one little snippet I cut out. But I think it was the second blow. So the way it worked is of course, he ran a tube down this Reska's.
You were going to say Nesca, wasn't you?
Down her esophagus, and it goes until it hits the blockage. And then he puts water in that tube, and he sticks it in on his mouth and keeps pressure on it because you can't have air in it.
Right.
And so he does like this. And so he's putting pressure on it and he's got this little pump and he sticks it down there and he starts pumping. And then of course it starts pushing on that blockage and starts breaking it up. And you only get about 2 or 3 pumps. And she's got to blow it out.
Right.
And she got one good time where I cut it out because he got tickled. He laughed. But he said, gosh, dang it, is what he said. But I was scared because he was so far away. Yeah. And I didn't want to get dinged because, but it hit him on side of his whole face on this one side was covered with horse food.
And he said, I don't know if you cut this part out or not, but he said, I have probably done this to over 150
He
horses,
never took that big of a
and
direct
I've
hit.
never been hit that hard before.
Oh, it got him good. And so I had it was all on the bottom of my hat. Because when she blew, I was looking down, so it's hitting there. And of course, it was all on my shirt. And the funny part was, he goes, "Reska, your whatever they feed your horse feed tastes good." Remember that? Because when he would pump it 2 or 3 times, he had to stop and he would take it off
Right.
the pump and let her do her thing, and then he had to stick his mouth back on that tube and push back on there. And let's just say there was some horse slobber and horse feed on there. And Dr. D did not care at all.
He did not care.
He didn't care at all. He did not care at all. But he's a hoot.
You know that it was Sunday. Sunday, I was on Facebook and I saw that a lady that we know that's in Selma said, "What does everybody feed their horses that tend to choke? I'm on my way to the vet now."
Yeah.
And she was having an issue. I don't know what vet she used, but you know, a lot of you helped us out by telling us some suggestions as to what we could do, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all.
I had one that was a vet tech that dealt with horses, and she said that she suggested to soak it for 2 hours before we fed it to them.
I saw that.
Now, the longer it does sit, I've never let it sit 2 hours. I usually let it sit around 5 or 10 minutes, and it swells up. That's the whole reason you want to soak it. It's not because it's lubricated. The food swells up real big, and that's what happens in their esophagus.
Right.
If they eat too fast,
it swells up.
It'll get kind of backed up just for a little bit, and then it starts swelling up, and that's what causes them to get blocked.
Well, you know, just the amount of time Jason pretty much takes care of the horses. Not that he did anything wrong, but I'm familiar with Pookie's food, which is similar type, and then Peach's feed, and they're both wet. And when you put that water on that food, by the time you get it to them, it's literally doubled in size. And it's not that it's more food; it's just it's breaking down.
Yeah,
you know, it's starting to do what their stomach does for them, and when they get older, they just
they can't chew.
Yeah,
it's the teeth issue. That's how come it's worse on senior horses, because they can't chew real well, and so when they chew, the food doesn't break down as fast, and then so that causes it to back up and then swell even worse. So
now Willie, when he chews, he turns his head sideways, and you can tell that one side of his teeth is he wants to get it on this side.
He's missing teeth.
But we soak their feed, and we soak it very well, and we'll continue to do that. So it's just one of those things, you know, you don't wish for it to ever happen, but when it does happen, somebody commented and said, "What is the biggest advice you can give somebody that's starting out with animals?" And you know what you're probably going to say the same thing. What is your biggest thing?
Oh my gosh.
If you're starting out with animals, what is your biggest piece of advice?
What animal we
Any animal. What is your biggest advice?
My biggest, I would say just be super tentative. I mean, pay attention to changes.
Okay, that sounds good. But you know what my piece of advice was?
What?
To already have a relationship with a
vet. Yeah, you're probably right.
Because Dr. D has been where we used to live.
Yeah, you're right.
Our vet was wonderful. But our vet was not to where he could leave.
That's right.
He was not to where he could leave.
And was about an hour away.
Yeah. So Dr. D, and I know all areas do not have mobile vets that travel, so that doesn't apply to everybody, but you do need to have a veterinarian that you can count on if you're just going to reach out to them and ask questions.
Especially if you have large animals.
Yeah.
Having a vet that comes is huge.
I saw what Catherine said.
What?
What animal do you think Catherine said don't get if you're a beginner?
Goats.
Don't get goats.
Don't get goats.
If you're a beginner.
Don't get goats.
Or horses.
Oh.
And we're not new horse owners.
No.
Still, horses can, you know.
And I say that lightly. Is just as long as you do your research and are as prepared as you possibly can be. Don't go out and get goats on a whim.
Yeah.
That's the worst mistake people make. They see, people having goats and they're cute and lovable and fun, and all of a sudden out on the whim next weekend they're gonna go buy them some goats.
That's right.
And some people may never ever have an issue.
That's right. You just don't know, but that's from our side. That's our suggestion. And then another thing is if you're getting animals because you're starting a YouTube channel, more animals or more varieties not going to get you more views. It's going to cause you headache.
It could
cause you a headache. Now we have the animals we have, even if a camera wasn't here. And I'm not saying that anybody else doesn't, but I'm saying it. What?
Someone said Egyptian geese either.
Egyptian geese either. Or guineas. Yeah, a different variety of animals is not going to get you more views. Concentrate on the ones that you do well with and let them be healthy and happy. And then if you want to add something else, you do your research. And you add them.
That's right. Please do your research.
Oh, goodness, y'all. I tell you.
That's a big thing.
It just, my heart sunk when I was sitting in a chair out there in the pasture with
we were actually taking turns.
Yeah.
So I had to go finish up everything because nothing had been done that morning.
Nothing had
All
been done.
the animals are still locked
Horses
up.
were the first stop.
Yep, because that's my first stop. I always go to the horses first because a lot of the times, I said this in the video, early like that, it was 6 o'clock. Gus and Loretta still asleep. The Mo and Joe are still, they're not even out of the porta yet, but Reska and Willie are waiting on me.
Yeah.
And we'll talk, and you know how Willie is. He likes to talk and tell me. Willie agrees with me on anything.
Willie has never done this in his life.
Willie's always this.
Yes, sir. He's like Caden. Yes, sir.
He is. I mean, Willie agree. I love it too. Me and Willie can talk about anything. He don't think I say anything wrong.
And he don't talk back either.
He does now.
He talks back? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I meant like in an ugly way.
No.
Not that Caden does. Caden's just sir.
Willie, he definitely agrees with me on everything I say.
Yes, the horses have a shelter.
Yeah, they
have a shelter in their pasture, and then we lead them out to, if it's going to rain, like today, we put them in an area where they have a shelter. Pookie went to an area where she has a shelter around back. She uses the area where the emus sleep at night for her shelter, and the horses came in the stall. As a matter of fact, we were cleaning the barn up, and next thing I know, here comes Willie. He's busting in the barn, looking over the stall like, what y'all doing? Can I come in there and help y'all?
Yep.
So I want to say that I wanted to make a reel today, and I didn't do it because I looked out the back door. Pookie had access to her shelter. Huh?
I deleted it. I recorded them. Go ahead.
The cows and the horses?
No, I don't know what you're going to say, though. No, I recorded the horses in the stall while it was raining.
The cows, y'all, all 5 cows were in their shelter. All 5 of them.
Yes, all of them under the thing in their shelter.
Pookie, on the other hand, a horse.
Wait a minute. All 5 cows are in the shelter. Willie and Reska are under the stall, and they're on the outside stall, and they're looking at the rain just like this. And I went around to the side, took a picture, and sent it to you. I may have deleted it too, but it was all animals. It was the goats and the emus.
Oh, you did. Together. You sent it to me.
The donkeys, Honey and Jesse, were in the stall next to where the goats and all were. There it is.
I don't know how well y'all could see it, but you can see the emus and the goats and Jesse and Honey. They're all in the stall.
All right, I'm going to show
this. It was pouring down rain.
I got this. Hang on. Where'd it go? Here we go. And so there's Willie and Reska. Right
They're
there.
in their stall.
You can hear the rain. But there was one animal that was not in the stall, and she's out there eating the grass and not batting an eye.
Acting like
it was sun shining outside.
I don't know what was wrong with her, because we're not always in the barn when it's raining. But we know that most of our animals seek shelter.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Oh, no, not Peaches.
No, Peaches went out there.
Peaches don't get wet.
It was Pookie. The mini horse
/ Pookie was standing out in the rain.
In the middle of the rain. Soaking wet. Just chewing away at the grass.
Having no problem whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
It was raining so hard, it had to have hurt. It was hitting her.
She was just.
And the cows were looking at her like, wonder what. And she had already tried to be the boss to Matilda this morning.
Y'all, this morning. So Pocket she is a drama queen. Her and Jessie are
Tit for tat.
Pocket may be just a little one notch higher than Jessie. Maybe depending on what day it is too. But
I say Pocket's higher every day.
They're right there equally though. But Pocket, she tries to start something with every animal that will come her way. Every animal. So this morning it was
just
Matilda.
testing them, y'all.
Yeah, it was this morning. It was Matilda. So Matilda's over there just eating and drinking, not paying attention. And there's Pocket, got her nose as close as she can get it, and she does that real high squeal, and she tries to swing around, and she never goes all the way around. She just gets that little quick, just like that. And Matilda she didn't even look at her. She just kept on doing her thing, And
nobody can care less about what Pocket does. Willie and Reska, they could care less.
They could care. She does it to Willie and Reska, and they don't even hardly look at her. And she's steadily on that fence, hollering and neighing and snorting.
Hey, Andale.
And if they get close to her, she does that, swings around real quick, like she's gonna kick them. She's got it.
About I don't know, 4 months ago, maybe, I have a friend that lives in our old hometown, and she knew that we had gotten a horse because she watches the videos, and she is where Peaches came from, Miss Julie.
Yeah.
And Miss Julie has had a lot of animals. She has a lot of experience. She's who taught us a heap of knowledge. It's where our peacocks came from initially. But Julie and her husband, Dave, they have been friends of ours for a very long time. And Julie reached out to me and she said, hey, I would like to rehome my little horse. His name is Snoopy, with y'all, if y'all are willing to take him. And I said, oh my goodness, Julie, he's a little bitty fella.
He's little.
I said, how big is he? And she told me he was 28 inches. So I said, let us talk about it. We don't do anything on a whim. Let me measure Pookie and just see how close they are the same size, and we'll talk about it. So I did, and he was actually a little bit smaller than Pookie. Snoopy was. And so Jason and I were like, well, I just don't know, because we got Peaches in here with Pocket. Pocket's never really been with another horse that she got along with, from the previous owner's information. But Julie seemed to think that a male, or a gelding, he's actually a stud right now, but she was going to have him cut so that we could put him in with Pookie, and wanted to do that in the wintertime because flies get so bad in the summer when you cut something. You don't want that.
That's right.
And so we talked about it, and Jason and I just kind of came to the conclusion that it is probably not going to work out. And I would hate for Miss Julie to have him cut and
all that
and all that, thinking that we're gonna give him a lifelong home, and Pocket be like, no, I'm not having him, because I think that's what would have happened.
Who knows?
I don't know. But I wasn't willing to take that chance.
Who knows?
It crossed our mind for that day or so when Julie offered him to us.
It did.
He's a cute little fella. He's sweet as he can be. It would be wonderful to have another of Pocket's kind if she wanted it, but I can't ask her. Cause she's gonna tell me I got Peaches over here.
She is a mess. I was, when Dr. D was here talking about Pocket, I was a little afraid that Pocket maybe gained a little too much weight.
Oh yeah.
I say she looks like a football on toothpick. I mean, a football on toothpicks or a watermelon on toothpicks.
I think she looks great.
And so I wanted to make sure she was okay. And so I asked Dr. D what he thought of her, and he said she was perfect. He said she looks absolutely fabulous. Don't change anything. Don't change anything.
He said her food was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
He said she's okay on the grass. That if she hasn't had any issues thus far on the grass, then she's okay. we're just going to have to, if the grass gets too tall, of course, we'll have to get somebody in there to do a little work, take the pasture down, and Pookie can go elsewhere that day. But it's just working out. And I don't think we ought to change anything.
I don't think so either. I don't think we need to change anything either. And and then Dr. D gave us the great news on Willie too. He said don't change. Keep doing what you're doing. He looks absolutely fabulous. He said he has a scale that he does from 1 to 5, 5 being the best. And he said Willie would be a 5 on his scale, whatever that scale was. That's what he said.
I remember that. And he said on the scale he's a 5.
He's a 5.
It's 5 out of 5. He's perfect condition. Yep. And I thought, well, Willie has come a long way. Could we put Snoopy in with the goats and donkeys? Well, Snoopy's intact. And if we were going to get Snoopy, she would have had him altered so that he would be a gelding instead of a stud. Because we can't have Jessie getting pregnant.
Yep.
So we're going to let Miss Julie, keep Snoopy, and she's got some minis that she could breed him with, or even just continue to let him live his life out there. She doesn't want to have him cut in the summertime, and banding a horse of that age is not her first choice.
That's right. And if we added a little horse over there with them, that would be another animal that would be a different feed situation.
Right.
So,
well, he would probably eat the same thing
Jessie would eat.
They eat the Essential K.
Okay.
The Combat Essential K
tribute.
Yeah, which is probably what he would eat. But needless to say, we don't need him. We were only, Julie was only being nice and trying to think about Pocket having a friend. But Pocket's never been with another horse. So her and Peaches is like her and her dog friend.
I tell you, I can get Willie and Riska out of their pasture they sleep in and go put them on green grass. And almost every time I get them out, she will neigh across that pasture, just to say, hey.
Yeah, I'm over here. Look at me.
I'm over here.
Yeah.
Don't make me come jump that fence.
She's an attention getter, that's for sure.
Don't make me jump that
Let me see if I can't find a picture of Snoopy.
He looks like Snoopy. That's why.
He does, y'all. He's
solid
so
white
cute.
With like a patch over his eye.
He is
that
so
right?
cute. Yes.
That's what I thought.
And he's a little fella. Let's see.
Oh, Snoopy.
And she's got multiple minis. That's not her only mini. And she knows her horse stuff. Let me tell y'all.
Yeah, she's big horse.
Where is he? She had 2 little babies born this past year.
That's him over there, isn't it?
No, that's not him.
No, it's him just passed by, isn't it?
There's a picture of just him. These are her babies.
Okay.
It's a video. That's not him. That's a mare. Was that him?
He's got a solid white face like that.
And he's
I didn't think his mane was brown,
I think it's black.
I didn't think his mane was brown like that at all.
Yeah, she had 2 little babies born on her farm, and they were precious. 2 little minis. Well, I'm not going to find Snoopy.
Oh, Snoopy.
But anyway.
Hey, go, Snoopy. That's not Snoopy, though. I think it's Snoopy in it.
I don't know, Jason.
I think so.
I don't know.
Oh, so, goodness gracious.
Jason made a reel out of the new little calf. And if y'all saw it, he put the music to George Strait on there, Fireman, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
You didn't see the one go ahead. You didn't see the one I posted today of Gus, did you?
Of him sleeping?
Yeah, with the water hose going?
I did.
In the water hose going in his mud hole?
Yes.
And he doesn't wake up?
No. I saw that.
Oh my gosh. I told you it was Sloopy, not Snoopy.
Well, that's okay. It can be Snoopy.
That was right. Go ahead.
The calf, y'all, it is so funny. It is so funny. That little fella, he gets to running and he means business. And I was recording him that evening and I sent it to Jason and he said, I'm fixing to make a reel out of it. And I said, you do that. Because he would run through where the ladies were eating food and then he'd run back out. And it was like nobody the emus were running with him, and I couldn't catch it fast enough. That's where the video began. Is the emu started running, he's running beside him, and my camera would not catch it fast enough.
You gotta
But
be quick
yeah,
because them emus will.
yeah, and they went down the hill, and the firemen went down the hill. They were both just running to beat the band, and it was quite a sight. So told Jason, I said, we need to name him the fireman, but we still don't really have a name. I just say, come here.
Little man, come here, little man.
Now we do have some calf starter that I have been trying to get him interested in, and so far no luck of him eating out of my hand, but he's ate out of a bucket. So we're gonna just gonna work on that a little
He's
bit
been
at a time.
nibbling at it.
Yeah, he's been nibbling at it. But Dr. D said, it's going to take around 40 days before he's interested in any feed.
I got you.
He said it's okay that he's not interested in
Mm-hmm.
it. Because my concern is, shouldn't he be interested in the feed by now? And he said, no. He said, wait till he's about 40 days old. But he said, it won't hurt to try.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he.
And I am feeding Matilda in the trough now.
Are you?
Yes.
I fed her this morning in the bucket.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I was thinking, did you feed this morning? But you did. I have been feeding her in the trough as long as Moody and Mildred are in the back, which they have been.
They have been. They all even come up. I mean, almost every time too. They have to see you. If Matilda and Tater do not see you, they're not coming. They're going to stay out in that pasture.
No, one day this week, y'all, I had to give Luberson to Matilda in the evening because they would not come to eat. They were so invested in grass, and that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to like their grass so much that they don't want to leave it.
Yeah.
And I gave her I just need her to come for her Luberson. Even if she eats just a handful, she needs that medicine on there because it's helping her. And Dr. D got to see how much the Luberson is helping her.
Mm-hmm. He did.
He's thrilled with the results, and of course we are too, as y'all know. Speaking of Luberson, I jotted down some people that had good results because it just makes my heart so happy. Darlene sent me an email. I think it was yesterday. It may not have been yesterday, but she has a 13-year-old dog, and she was having to pick this dog up to take it outside to use the restroom. And she just knew it was time. It was time, for her to say her goodbyes. And she said that since she's had this dog on Luberson, the dog can get up and get around and get outside by itself. And she was thrilled and just telling me a success story.
Wow.
Tina sent me a message and said she is 85 to 90% better with her joints and pain.
Mm-hmm.
Melanie suffered from severe rheumatoid arthritis. She needs both shoulders replaced, and she'd been putting it off. She couldn't lift her arms higher than her shoulders. 10 days afterwards, she can lift her arms.
That's crazy.
Isn't it, though?
That's unreal.
So those were just three stories that I wanted to tell y'all about because many of y'all have sent me emails, but when I searched Luberson, these are what came up. And I just, seeing these results is just a blessing that Dr. D told us about it.
Unreal. Somebody asked about Victorian ground pigeons. They are here, but they have not, this year have not built a nest, tried to build a nest or anything.
That's right.
They've just been chilling out over there.
There was a day when she was sitting on that first nest that they built. And I thought, here we go. Mm-hmm. And I said, I am not getting our audience involved because y'all will be just as invested in it as I am. But so far, nothing.
Yeah.
So far, nothing. He's making his calls. He's doing his thing. But, I saw somewhere, and they live in New Guinea, so it rains a lot in New Guinea. Mm-hmm. It's no tropical difference, I wouldn't think. But it has rained 23 out of 27 days in the month of May in Alabama. If I'm not mistaken, at some point during the day, it's rained that much.
For the entire state.
For the month, yeah.
Yeah. Not for us.
Well, not necessarily for us, but in Alabama, it's been 23 days of some point that it rained.
Yeah, I say we haven't. We've had a lot of rain.
We have.
It just comes and just all at one time. I think we're over 10 inches for the month.
Is Lubricant only for minor pains? No, this lady had severe rheumatoid arthritis. There are people that need joint replacements. I think, Jason, that somebody told me that they made a sample bottle.
I have no idea.
Now, I've been on their website, but I don't know that for sure. If they made a sample size, then that would be the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because people would know whether it was going to help them without buying a quart. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it is, you just have to go to their website. It's lubricin.com and read about how it works and what the benefits are.
I think we probably need to show the Victorian crowns. I'll try to video in my next video. I can't remember.
You do that.
I'll do that.
But I'm going to have to remind you to remember. And that might not happen, so. Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I am so hopeful that my pins come out tomorrow. Well, actually, today is 3 weeks from surgery.
Really?
3 weeks today.
It's been 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks today. I won't forget me telling y'all that I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna do a live no matter what. I'm
in the
gonna
waiting room.
No, I said that afternoon at 4:00 after my surgery, I was gonna do a live.
Oh, man.
And you said you were gonna prop me up like
oh yeah, weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Brookie's.
That's right.
And I said, yeah, I'm gonna do a live. No matter how I feel, I'm gonna do a live.
Yep.
I was out. And I have had numerous surgeries. I say numerous. I've had a couple of surgeries, and none of them I was out like that. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, you're older though. You know?
I just don't. I think it had to been a different kind of anesthesia.
I don't know what it was, and it wasn't and that was a quick one. It wasn't like it was one that put you under deep. You know, it was kind of a light, and it was a short one. But yeah, you were not well. No, you are not well.
And
I
haven't had nausea with any kind of anesthesia except when I had Mary Carl. That was it. That was the only anesthesia I've ever been nauseous with.
Yeah, but that was totally different there.
Well, maybe it was the same kind as my theory. Because I need these pins to come out. Tomorrow. Look, I can do all this. This finger still doesn't move, and I'm concerned that it's never going to move. It's bent. It's just like that. But my pin has not poked through yet. Good. I'm covering it up, just like the doctor told me. But I need them to come out. I need to be able to. I mean, the break is not in this part of my finger. It's down here. So whatever it is, it'll be. I just ready for them to come out. I just got to be careful. You know, even when they do come out, I know I'm going to have to be careful.
You're going to have to be careful. Very, very, very.
Okay, so code for Lubricin. They gave us a promo code of COG, COGHILL, all one word. It gets you 25% off.
That's right.
Your order. You can order it as many times as you want to. So I saw somebody ask that, and I wanted to let you know to make sure you use that promo code because you will get the 25% off, and that helps.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. I wonder how they're gonna get them out.
Well, I was told. Do you want me to tell you?
They just pull them out.
They just poke a little hole just where it is, and they just pull it out. So, you want to go with me?
I'm not gonna watch it.
That's what I wanted to know.
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, Mary Carl's going with me, and she's already informed me that she's gonna watch it.
You look like the Wolverine.
Yeah. In my X-ray, I do. In my X-ray, I look like Wolverine.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I do want to drive that new toy, Vicky. I'm thinking that Bobby's calling Brookie.
Oh, Bob.
I can drive the zero-turn lawnmower, but it's a different kind of, I don't have to, it's not like joy, it's like grabbing like this.
And it's a little bit more forceful, too, than the zero-turn. Especially when you turn.
Catherine said, just let her pull them out.
You really have to push on it to get it to turn. There's no finessing turning Bobby.
Oh,
Bobby said he don't need finessing.
The zero turn, you can,
Oh yeah, you can go around a tree, or you could go around throughout a bag of marbles out there. You could go in and out them easy. Bobby, you couldn't. He just run over him.
I don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be any.
Melissa Coghill, Coghill, all one word.
All one word.
Promo code Coghill. Yeah, I don't need to run over any more trees. We're getting down to
and you can't see anything hardly out the back. I mean,
What
you
if
got a window there, but it's just that's where everything is, the engine and all, and it's so big. You really
there's
can't
got
see
to be
much.
some kind of rear view mirror I can get. It's got to be.
I bet they make a camera system that you can add to it.
Oh, I need it.
Because the new ones have cameras.
I don't need a new one. I just need a camera.
But I bet you can get a camera where this has a little screen you can see behind you. I bet you can.
Well, I'm gonna need that because trees need to be known. They need to say, "Hey, I'm over here," before I run them down.
That's true.
Yeah, need to know it.
That's true.
Oh goodness!
But I bet they make a rear view camera system for it. It's the aftermarket that you can just plug in.
You know, but right after it came home, I wanted to give it a bath, and then I got to thinking, then I'm not gonna want to get it dirty, and I didn't. But ever since it came home, I've realized that there's no decals on the side.
It says Bob and C, but I'm gonna make it where it's gonna look like Bobby when it's done.
Well, I can order the decal.
No, I don't. I want it to be old. It's already got in the Bob on the side. It's been through it.
I think that maybe there should be like a Mrs. Coghill logo on one side and a Mr. Coghill logo on the other side.
You reckon?
Because I think we're both going to utilize this.
Oh,
it's Bobby for both.
Bobby.
Bobby's a boy or a girl's name,
so
it's for Brooke or Jason.
That's right.
Bobby's going to be utilized.
I thought about naming him Goldweight, but that was too hard to say.
Goldweight?
Bobcat Goldweight. He was an actor. He was the guy on the police academy. So you saw like this.
You better be glad that you just named it Bobby.
I know. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
Did you like Police Academy? You ever seen it?
Jason, I've never seen it.
Really?
No. Susanna said, "Have we ever had quail?" Susanna, you must go back and watch an old video. There was a time when we first got our GQF incubator that our dear friend, Miss Catherine, is borrowing over there at G&G, which she can keep it as long as she wants to. We hatched out over 1,000 quail. And that was something I'll never forget. That hatch was unbelievable. Yes, we have had many of quail. Many of quail. You got a screenshot of it?
That was March of 2020. 5
years ago. We hatched out over 1,000 quail.
Don't seem like it's that long ago. That's what the video looks like right there. Look at all of them.
And y'all, like I was so scared to take a step because you know what would happen. And you just had to shuffle your feet. Every time you went in there to fill up their water or their feeder, anything, you had to shuffle your feet. They were everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000. It was over 1,000.
What did we do with 1,000 quail? Well, we were raising them for ourselves, for meat. And then this was right, we were getting into it where we were going to serve a restaurant. And we got a license. We had to have a license. Maybe we had to go to the wild game.
We had to go to Montgomery to the state capitol to apply for a quail license.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that for pheasants or quail. And in the state of Alabama, and we had to go get that license. So we had our license and we were ready to go all in, hatched 1,000 of them. And next thing we know, that bad virus hit and the restaurant closed. And we were, we had a lot of quail, but we didn't have any problem finding homes for them. And we built a nice brooder that we just raised quail in. It was quite interesting. We had pheasants too. At one time we had a lot of pheasants. Now pheasants were beautiful, but pheasants will never be tame birds, in my opinion.
And you have to be careful by putting different breeds of pheasants together because they could fight.
Yes,
and,
pheasants
like,
do not
showing
need
up
to be
fighting.
with quail. Pheasants do not need to be with pigeons.
Yeah.
Pheasants don't need to be with anything. Pheasants
Mhm.
are to be by themselves,
To be with their own
to be with
kind.
their own kind.
Yep.
And anything else they could get bullied and beat up on. And so we had a special area just for pheasants, and they were
Splitting tracks.
splitting tracks
That
out in
was for-
California.
That's who gifted us the pheasants.
Do you have pictures of our pheasants?
Ooh,
Oh, y'all, they were
I
so
don't
beautiful.
know if I
But
do.
that's Mary Carl loved them, and that gentleman just was so kind to us. He mailed us eggs, and we hatched some beautiful pheasants, and we ended up rehoming them because we couldn't put them with, we couldn't have anything else with them. Couldn't put anything else with them. I don't think you got a video. I was thinking
I got
like
a video
picture.
over this one right there. See it?
Where did we do with them?
Did Robert get these?
I don't know. We ended up rehoming them. It was too much to handle.
You can see there's one of them right there.
But we had the red and gold ones, and then we had the
they were pretty.
Different. We've had a lot of different birds. A lot of different birds. What are you laughing at?
We've had a lot of different birds.
We have. We had just about everything.
Oh goodness.
Except for some exotics, the Victorian quail. Victorian quail. The Victorian crown pigeons are pretty much the only exotic bird I guess we would have had.
You wordsmithing today.
I am fancy.
You are wordsmithing today.
I am fancy.
So I see a lot of people saying quail eggs. We did eat the quail eggs.
We loved them.
And so I had this great idea. I said, you know what? You know what would be cool? This is just the best idea I ever had. I'm going to make deviled quail eggs. This is gonna be cute. This is we all, our family all love deviled eggs, deviled quail eggs. I can see them cute. This is gonna be great. Don't do it. If you got quail, don't. If you think about deviled quail eggs, just keep thinking and go pass on by because, oh my goodness, y'all, it was way too much work.
Wasn't it Humpty Dumpty?
For what you get.
Wasn't that what? Something about the quail eggs.
Oh, I don't know.
Something about the recipe.
I just know that I will never forget that it felt like it took me 4 hours to get like 10 devil quail. The bad part is after you boiled them, was peeling them and trying to get them, and then get the
shell off. And then cutting them in half, and then oh gosh,
it was not.
And Mary Carl was little, and she wanted those quail eggs, those deviled quail eggs, and you didn't quit.
I did them.
You sure did.
And they were good. Now, don't get me wrong, they were good, but they were not worth it.
That's what our male pheasant looked like.
Ones,
yeah, our red golds. Let's see, Jason. What else did we have? We had
pheasant wise?
No, just in all, just some weird things.
Gosh,
some weird
things. Idea. I don't know. I tell you what, we had some devil quail eggs.
We did, y'all. It was a mess. Quail eggs are like that tiny to begin with, and Jason was trying to cut every single one of them
and
in
get the
half.
yolk out, and you have to make your little mixture and pipe it back in there.
Yes. And the pheasants are beautiful, but they are bullies.
And you sprinkle the devil quail eggs with bacon, but the quail eggs are so small, you have to. Yeah, the bacon would be too big.
Yeah.
It was a mess. It was a great idea. I thought I was fancy too. I thought it was great idea right here.
Oh, Charles says that the Amazon has the backup cameras for the Bobby.
Oh, thank you, Charles. I'm gonna go look as soon as it's over.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The Victorian crowns are doing well, Liz. We talked about them just a little bit, earlier. We have bob whites here that are wild, but you just don't see them very often.
Heard one this morning.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
It's always welcoming to my
It is.
ears to hear a Bob White because ever ate pigeon eggs? Yes, we've
Tried
eaten
it.
pigeon eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've tried every egg except for Victorian crown pigeon that we have here on the
I
farm.
think you're right. I think you are right. I will say this though. I love the sound of Bob White's.
I do too.
It is a. I don't know what it is about it. It's real calm and comforting. I just love the sound of them.
And I'll come home. What used to, not now. Now that we've been here 4 years, I've kind of quit. But I would go home and I'd tell Mary Carl that I saw 4 Bob Whites out in our pasture, and she would say, "Huh," and she never said anything. She's just that kind of person. And then finally, after about the 50th time that I told her I saw Bob White, she said, "Mama, they're meadowlarks." And I said, "No, they're not. No, they're not." And she said, "Mama, is that the bird that you've been seeing?" And I said, "Yes, it's a Bob White. It's a quail." She said, "Mama, it's a meadowlark."
It's a meadowlark.
So, you can hear a quail and know that that's what you're hearing. But a lot of times I was seeing meadowlarks thinking that they were Bob Whites. Bob White.
Janet says she's never heard of Bob White. You'll have to go on YouTube and search it and let it come up. It's a beautiful.
It is
it's
a
real
beautiful
calming.
sound.
It's real like a.
It's just a subtle, just a calming sound. It's just, I don't know how anybody, even Jason, says that it's a good sound.
Mm-hmm.
Jason has sound problems.
It's just certain things. I don't know what it is. It must be like a decimal level.
Well, on my video when I talked about it, there were so many people that have that same problem.
Really?
Yes, you are not alone. You are not alone. It's
gotten worse as I gotten older.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's gotten way worse as I gotten older. So
the Jason can be editing and the dogs start barking.
Oh my gosh.
And he just loses all concentration. It's like he says, "You don't understand. It's like my focus is gone. It just zaps me. It starts over." Bobby White.
Morning doves have a common sound.
We could name the skid steer Bobby White because he's white.
We could.
Bobby White.
Bobby White.
Okay, there we go. We like Bob Whites. Yeah.
Bobby White. We got more. We got a pair of mourning doves that live on the power lines back here. I hear them a lot.
You know what? Don't snipes make the noise?
I don't know what a snipe makes. Now we got that.
Is that what Mary Carl wanted me to go look for at dusk?
It's probably the snipe, yeah, and then the whippoorwill, but it's called something else. What's called a whippoorwill?
Chuck's whippoorwill.
Chuck's Will's widow.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yep.
Oh goodness gracious!
So we have those, and we have whippoorwills too. But the Chuck's Will's widow is what we're hearing. They ain't heard them lately. They may have gone already.
They might have.
We heard them last month for sure.
They when we went to the Oak Mountain event, it was all about the owls. They encouraged us to go outside in the evening when it's just about dusk and play a screech owl noise and see if you can't call up a screech owl and wear a football helmet because they will dive bomb you.
Yeah, screech owls are like pocket.
They like pocket, but pocket. In a little bitty body.
They something else.
She said, they will come at your head. So sit out there in a chair and do your screech owl sound and just wait.
The lady said that she wasn't from here, but she moved here and she works for the
Michael, yes, a snipe is for real.
Yep, it is.
We're gonna look it up. We're not gonna go snipe hunting though.
If you look it up, most of the time you're gonna see him as the one that he dances. So he's got the long beak, and they like to play it like a hip music. And he know he's doing, and he's like this. It's pretty funny. I'll make him find it right here. But that's a snipe.
Wasn't it a snipe that flew at Mary Carl and I when we were at Harrison Lake not too long ago?
Could have been a rail.
No, it wasn't a rail. I think it was a snipe.
All right, here we go. I don't know what music it is. I'm gonna turn it down. There you go.
And the little baby's trying to follow.
Oh,
that's goodness. Like Mary Carl trying to keep up with Jason when she was little.
They say that's a woodcock, but the snipe's like that too. They may be the same thing.
Interesting.
Very much so.
Interesting. Yes, we have an owl box, but a bat box we had at the old farm. We had a bat box and nothing
Mm-hmm.
ever occupied it. The owl box has remained empty as thus far, but we're hoping at some point there will be an owl to
Hope
nest in
so.
it.
Hope
And we put
so.
it down there by the old barn, thinking,
And we,
that
we put it the height it's supposed to be and put it in a pine tree, and but Clack makes bat boxes, and I got to get with him about that. I like to maybe get a bat box from
that's
him.
right. Oh, buddy Clack.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep Clack busy. He retires in October, I believe. And I might be counting down the days more than he is.
Reckon what day it is.
He's wanting to borrow the skid steer, so there's no telling what we could trade for him using the skid steer.
That's right.
Like Catherine gave
That's
us
true.
some bell peppers and what other kind of jalapeno peppers for the eggs? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Purple martins do well for flies. Somebody said, "What about sparrows?" We have lots of birdhouses around here.
We got lots of birdhouses, and I got a lot more to hang up too.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yep.
But we just want to make them simple places to nest. I was pulling in the driveway a little bit ago and I noticed a bird with a stick about that long. The bird was not very big, and she was no doubt going to build her nest or add on to it. I think that we're going to have some barn swallows to nest under the Moo Mansion.
Do you really?
Yes.
I've seen them go in and out.
Yes. I think that there's a little crack like up to where they could put their mud, and make their barn swallow nest out of the mud. What is that?
So this is a snipe dancing thing.
He's
the other one
very
was a
similar.
woodcock, but
they're very similar.
Very similar. But you can see 'em.
They just go to the beat, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Move to the beat.
And some smooth dance moves.
Yeah. Some smooth dance moves. Carla said she loves barn swallows. I recently saw a thing where people were talking about how much they dislike barn swallows because they make that stain on your house if they build a nest.
The wood, it's the mud.
It's because they take that mud and all swallows just about build nest. I am on it today. Nest out of mud. Cliff swallows do. Barn swallows do.
Purple martins don't.
But purple martins don't. They like to find a cavity. That's why we have those houses.
And ours are feeding babies. I'm fairly positive.
Fairly positive.
Because I saw her come in there. Wasn't today. Had been yesterday. And I thought she had food in her mouth.
Well, you know what that means? We're going to have a larger population next year.
Absolutely. So we got 2 pair this year. So if they have babies and they make it, everybody makes it through adolescence and flying across the Gulf and all that crazy stuff. We could have.
They'll be back here.
We could have 8.
Yeah. Well, we can have more than that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about that.
We can have more than that.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
We are excited to know that we may have more. And, if they keep doing this every year, we'll have to add on. We'll have to add another, nesting area because they depend on
absolutely
humans for places to nest.
Talking about swallows, and I didn't know this until we went to that thing last year where they had the chimney sweeps.
Yeah.
Chimney sweeps.
And you made fun of me for saying sweeps.
Oh, but they're struggling because they're losing so much of their habitat because people put guards up and block them and they can't build their nest, and so they're starting to create these artificial so they can go in and make their nest. So I never even thought about that.
There's a house on the county road when you turn off of our road, and Mary Carl and I were coming home the other day, and she said, "Mama," she said, "there were chimney swifts going in and out of that chimney." I said, "Was the house occupied?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I hope they got the chimney block from the inside, because if not, they could go down in your house and get out." But
we had them at our house when I was growing up all the time.
Most of the time they don't come out.
They never, ever, we never saw any baby birds.
You probably had a damper closed.
I don't, maybe Diddy did. I don't know. I can't remember, but I remember them. You could hear them. I mean, you could hear them clear as day, just in there chirping away. in the chimney.
I wish we could have an artificial chimney for some.
I took pictures of that thing they had built at that
Yes,
thing,
it's pretty cool.
and it would be nice to build, something like that for
So we were coming home on that same road, and it was in that same area the other
them.
day. And there's an area where there's a lot of grackles. And if y'all saw Jamie's reel earlier today, then you know what a grackle is.
Hmm.
She called it a crow by mistake, but it was actually a boat-tailed grackle in her video. And we saw one that had two white feathers on its back.
You did.
They're a solid black bird. They have a shine of purple or green when they turn towards the light. But this one had two white feathers, so it's considered pied. But we turned around, we tried to find that bird. She wanted to take a picture of it. It was an oddity, and of course, we didn't see it again. But it was
Pretty cool.
It was cool because
Pretty
we
cool.
both got eyes on it. We
Mhm.
both saw the backside to see the pied coloring.
Somebody asked, they said that their cowbirds are taking over their feeders and don't know what to do. Change your feed. So cowbirds, you'll have to feed like a harder seed, and I think safflower
Safflower.
is a harder seed. I think I'm right on that. So get a harder seed that they won't like that, and so they'll ignore them. But your harder billed birds like grosbeaks and bunnings and cardinals and those guys can eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way that you can get rid of cowbirds is the seed. I'm almost positive that's right. The safflower is a hard seed that's too hard for cowbirds to fool with, and so they'll just leave them alone.
Darlene, we do have shrikes. We have a pair of shrikes that nest here every year out front, and it is it's not a bird that's that common around here. So when you see one, it's kind of an odd thing. And then we have a nesting pair right here on our property.
Loggerhead shrikes.
Loggerhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Mary Carl the other day, is that the only kind of shrike there is? And she said, no, there's a
don't ask me, but I know it's not that
northern it's another kind of shrike that we don't have. Anyway.
I saw we had rose-breasted buntings here last year. I haven't seen any this year, but Mary Carl says she saw.
You mean grosbeaks?
Yeah.
Rose-breasted grosbeaks?
That was a bunting.
Rose-breasted grosbeak.
That was grosbeak.
Painted bunting.
Painted bunting. Got me confused.
How can I discourage grackles? Well.
Oh gosh, I don't know. You're right. Rose-breasted grosbeak. Sorry.
I just hear this a lot. I don't know much about it. I just know what I hear. I know I'd like to see a painted bunting. I've never seen one before, and they are beautiful.
Hard to find here.
We have what's the grosbeak that we have a lot?
Here we got blue. We got blue back here all the time.
And they're beautiful too.
Beautiful birds.
Last trip that I went to Oak Mountain with Mary Carl, we saw a rose-breasted grosbeak right right outside their door, and that was the first time I'd ever seen one in person.
Wow. We the first time we saw them was last year at Dolphin Island, and they were a pair, and they were just sitting right there, like 6 foot in a tree right there. I mean, they were right there and just sat there.
Did the baby purple martins come back to where they were born? Yes.
Yes.
And that's one reason that you want to make sure that you expand your housing if they're expanding. If you've only got, say, 4 gourds up and you've got 2 pairs, their children are going to occupy those 2 other gourds, so you need to add on. Just kind of judge it by, how many pairs you have nesting.
I saw somebody said they had some killed deer that live in their area or on their property, and so me and Caden are out there planting the garden. He's helping me do the corn and stuff, and we're out there, and there was one over there, and I said, "Do you know what kind of bird that is?" He said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "You know what they do?" He said, "They act like they hurt." I said, "That's it." He said, "You know what I call them, Mr. Jason?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "I call them a redneck seagull."
A redneck seagull.
Because they sound a lot like a seagull. And they're around this area a good little bit. So
we're going to have to do a birding live because Heather just wanted to know if we have warblers. And I recently learned why a warbler is called a warbler. Yeah. And I always thought it was because like they did like this, that like they warble like a weeble warble, but they don't fall down. But no, it's not that at all. It's their voice. Their voice wobbles.
Mm.
It goes up and down, and their pitch goes either from high to low or low to high. Most of the time, it's high to low.
That's right.
But we have lots of warblers, and there's lots of different kinds of warblers. There's worm eating, there's magnolia, there's Kentucky, Tennessee, pine, yellow. I mean, palm. The list goes on. There are warblers unlimited.
Lots of them.
Lots of them, yeah.
Yep. Lots of them.
Well, it's almost time for what's for supper. And
see me sling up real quick.
I did. I'm hungry too, Jason.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. And I got just the supper that's gonna fix your cravings.
What we got?
Breakfast.
Yes.
Breakfast for supper. You know what that usually means? You're getting low on groceries. In my house, it does anyway.
Oh, man.
We always have eggs at our house, and so we're gonna have breakfast. I see pizza. I see
barbecue chicken,
poached eggs on toast,
a good old American cheeseburger.
Oh, right, lasagna. Good gracious!
Did somebody say they had the grilled chicken with the white barbecue sauce?
I saw that. Taco salad, pot roast. Oh my goodness, y'all!
Egg sandwich. I like egg sandwich.
I like egg sandwich too.
It won't be long. We're fixing to have them tomato sandwiches.
That's right.
Now I'm real late planting this year, so we may have to pick us up a couple of from the farm stand until ours pop
from the
on
G&G down the road.
Yeah,
G&G farm
G&G
stand.
Farm stand.
She planted early. She
That's
always
good
does.
and gooder.
Good and gooder.
Caesar salad,
cheeseburgers,
cheese and rice.
Oh my goodness, breakfast is good every time.
French bread pizza. Oh my goodness,
that's something good right there.
And I can taste it just right now.
It takes the skin off the top of my mouth every time I eat that French bread pizza.
My mom's pulling it out of the oven. I can taste it right now.
It would take the skin, and I think it has something to do with tomato-based stuff that takes the skin off.
I think it's that and the crispiness of the bread, the combination of the two.
You're probably right.
But nothing like Captain Crunch does.
Oh, that happens to everybody. That's not
Captain
just a
Crunch
thing.
Captain Crunch it's like eating a cup of Tax.
Well, we don't eat that anymore. That was just when we were kids.
Oh, so I'm guessing we're gonna have grits.
Yes.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Sausages.
We have Conecuh sausage, and it is saved for sausage dogs.
We can use our sauerkraut.
Yes.
So okay, sounds good. Grits, eggs, bacon.
Somebody just asked if my tongue was all better. It's not. My other's better, and I just learned to live with the tongue. So, take the good with the bad.
Somebody said laugh out loud, grape nuts. So somebody must be having some grape nut cereal. So my buddy right down the road, as I was a kid, my friend down the road, Chip, his parents bought grape nuts. And I thought, man, I bet these are great. So I asked my parents to buy me some grape nuts. And so I thought they were very, very good. And, being a young fella, you eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many bowls of grape nuts I ate. But do you know why people eat grape nuts?
Yeah, so they can be regular. But your parents didn't know that?
They wouldn't. But watching me, what I was doing.
Well, I know, but when they gave them to you.
No, they just probably thought,
Yeah, they wanted to see how many times you went to the bathroom.
Let's just say I learned my lesson as a young man not to eat that many bowls of grape nuts.
I bet you did. Good gracious.
Oh, me.
Well, that's interesting. I guess you don't want any grape nuts anymore.
I don't know if I had them since.
Gotta tell y'all one thing. We're gonna do a live Saturday, providing nothing happens. Do not even stay it.
Yeah.
We were planning on doing a live this last Saturday.
That's right.
So this next Saturday is the last day to order old designs on merch that's on the website. Okay. If you want to do that. So Saturday will be the last day to order those. If you were wanting something with the old design, get it before it's gone. I'll try to remember to say it again Saturday. I got to do what I'm supposed to do.
We'll
Got
get
it
in
written
big
down.
trouble.
No, I'm never going to say that again. Jacqueline said people think she's mean.
Oh.
Jacqueline's not mean.
Oh, goodness.
Jacqueline's a nice lady.
That's right.
We appreciate everybody
Mhm.
that works with us, and
Absolutely.
they appreciate you guys. So
Sure do.
what are grits? Grits is ground up corn.
Ground
It's
up
a
corn.
thing that happens in the South, and if you have never had them,
Very similar to polenta, if you know what polenta is. I think it's the coarseness of it. One of them is coarser than other. The grind.
I like coarse ground grits, the ones that McEwen and Sons have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like those, and blue grits are good too. Hadn't had those in a while. All right, so our plan is to be back here on Saturday.
That's right.
I don't want to get ahead of myself because
you know the hiccup all of a sudden.
Oh goodness,
went away.
We gotta go. Quick. We gotta go. So video tomorrow, and everything is planned to go as scheduled.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Thank you to each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, no matter what you're having for supper or what you're not having for supper. No grape nuts.
There's no grape nuts.
No grape nuts.
Y'all be good.